Hello and welcome to Getting Your Money's Worth, the show that focuses on value. I'm Judith West, and our guest today is Laura Mattia, Wealth Client Advisor at Barron Financial, and our favorite financial guru. Hi, Laura. Thanks for being on the show.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you.
Okay, we started our relationship, believe it or not, a year ago on Getting Your Money's Worth with something called the Money Bus, and that's what we're focusing on again today. But before that, I just want to introduce a little bit about who you are and what you represent. For starters, personally, you're someone that's passionate about life planning, financial planning.
Absolutely.
Right. And you even go so far as to say that quality of one's life is very much determined by the kind of planning.
Oh, absolutely. Money and everything that we do in our life is, it's all connected.
Exactly. Now, and also you're a member of an organization, NAFA organization. Spend just a few seconds telling us about that.
NAFA is National Association of Personal Financial Advisors. We've been in existence for over 25 years. It's a group that is really out there trying to promote the overall standards of the financial services industry. We are advocates for the consumer. We are very interested in educating.
You're different from a broker.
Oh, yes. We are fee-only advisors, right, which primarily means that we are only compensated by the client. We don't receive compensation from any product sales, and we accept the responsibility of being a fiduciary, and that's a very big deal.
Okay, so you accept the responsibility of really having the client's welfare in mind, and being a fiduciary, being almost a, would you say, go so far as say, like, almost personally responsible for what you advocate?
Absolutely. We put our clients' interest ahead of our own interests. We are required to by law.
Right. And you guys have to meet you're tested at some kind of a standards board also.
Yes, we have a certain amount of CE credits that we need to take, continuing educational credits every year, and we actually sign this fiduciary oath every year, and we are monitored.
Okay, fine. So we just wanted to distinguish that when you speak here, you're the voice of, you speak as a member of that organization.
Yes, I am.
And it's something that folks should look for. After all, in these times, people don't know who to trust.
Yeah, and the thing about the fiduciary really is a big thing, because brokers and broker-dealer registered reps, they're not fiduciaries to the clients. They can't be. They're federally required to be fiduciaries to their employer. To their
firm. Okay. This is really a good time for the Money Bus. What happened? Why are we in such an economic crisis, Laura?
Oh,
you and 50 other economists that don't have the same opinion.
Right. Well, it's primarily greed.
Greed.
I think that just people,
greed on the part of the investors.
Everybody.
Universal greed.
Yes, I think that people spent more. We were looking at this when we first talked about doing this Money Bus. We were looking at the statistics of the plight of individuals. I mean, 40% of all Americans spend more than they earn. Now, hopefully, that's changing now. But for a while, how could you spend more than you earn? At some point, 2 plus 2.
Well, that's the 40% who did.
Right.
Right. Okay. And this is the second year of the Money Bus, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So first off, how could you spend more? I mean, listen, people got houses they shouldn't have had. That's another whole story. But what is the Money Bus exactly?
Well, the Money Bus is the whole idea. It's a concept of traveling throughout the country. Last year we traveled to 70 different cities, traveled 14,000 miles, had many fee-only advisors, NAFA advisors, providing volunteer services to provide information.
So it's like a bookmobile or something.
Well, the idea is to get people to focus on their financial situations and to become financially literate.
So it's really to make people think about their own financial planning. People can come in and ask questions, correct?
Right.
And you can make appointments to go in. And when people come in, you had the experience of last year, what typically is the kind of things that they focus on, Laura?
Well, last year, unfortunately, it was exactly this time last year, and if you recall, the market was just really tanking, and there were a couple of days where we were out there providing financial advice, and I wasn't watching the news, and all of a sudden somebody came to me and started asking, well, what do you have to say about the 900 point loss? It was just really phenomenal, but people were very cynical and scared. They were very scared, and part of what we were trying to communicate is don't get so scared that you then won't take over what you need to do.
And do foolish things.
Right. It really is about taking responsibility for your financial situation.
And I suppose if people didn't have that notion about taking responsibility for their own financial situation prior to last year, for your first year, October, I venture to say you're going to have a different kind of questioning coming in, where I think people are going to say, you know, if I don't rely on anybody, I better start relying on myself.
I hope so.
Right. So, but what I like is, I brought it with me to for this afternoon, is there were some suggestions on the web of things that people should think about prior to coming on the bus, or even just sit down and think about, and even maybe write down answers to some of these questions, to think about how to plan their financial future. And one of the things you say that you add is, how much credit card debt are you currently carrying? Laura, what's a safe amount to carry? Is there a percentage of your after-tax income that's a safe amount?
Credit card debt, consumer credit, zero.
Zero?
Preferably zero.
No zero? I mean, no Visa cards, no Discovery cards, no American Express, Laura?
Credit card debt is bad debt. It is bad debt. You don't want it. The interest rates that you pay on credit card debt are way too high. It's very hard to actually dwindle that balance down once you actually establish a balance. And when we were first launching the bus, we did note that the average American had over $16,000 worth of credit card or consumer debt, non-homeowner debt. And
well, wait a second, I'm a little bit upset. What consumer debt versus non-homeowner? What's consumer debt? What kind of stuff?
Anything other than a mortgage is really what I'm talking about.
So you're talking about clothes, restaurants, vacations, cars. So what are people supposed to do? Put it under their mattresses if they have enough money to go on a vacation?
Well, no. If you can go on a vacation, if you have the money saved to go on vacation, and you want to use a credit card, and you know at the end of the month you're going to pay. I use a credit card all the time, but at the end of the month I pay it off. I don't carry that balance from month to month.
Okay, so what you're saying is you should have zero debt, meaning that it's okay to use a credit card as long as you know you're going to have the money to pay it off at the end of the month.
And if you're not going to have the money to pay it off, you have to think about whether that vacation is really in the cards,
or any other purchase. Okay, so that's one. That's good. And then the other thing is, you ask next about how much cash reserve. What's this? How much savings? Now, we already know that people were not saving much last year. We also know that consumer spending is down and that people are saving more. So is there like a percentage of your income, after-tax income, that you should strive to save?
Right. Well, okay, so we're talking about savings versus investing.
Right.
Because savings is really more about those things that are going to come up in the next year or so, short-term types of expenditures, and/or emergency funds.
Yeah, right.
And emergency funds, we usually at least 3 months, ideally 6 months worth of your expenses. So that if something
whatever
happens,
your expenses are, you should be able to cover them for 6 months in case you lose your job or you get sick or there's enough.
And you could do something like you could have a 3 month worth of supply of real liquid in a bank account, and then maybe another 3 months worth of supply in a CD.
Interest rates are so low now. Should people still put money in a savings account?
Well, you need to have that money liquid for you.
There's nothing else.
And the market is not a place to put the money.
So there's nothing else to do but just suck it up and put it in at a low interest rate.
You need to have some money just in case.
Right.
I mean, when the market goes south, you shouldn't be selling securities to pay for emergencies.
Right. Do you expect to find that people's spending habits have changed from last year to this year? In talking to clients during the year, what have you found?
Well, people are getting they're more serious about. first of all, understanding what volatility means, that the market goes up and the market goes down, understanding that it can get a little scary and that they need to take responsibility. I think people are getting back to the basics and taking charge.
When it comes to investing, Laura, do you prescribe a certain percentage in every asset class, or do you go by age? How do you decide if somebody should be putting money regularly into stocks or into bonds? How do you make that determination?
Well, we spend a lot of time with the person up front.
What are some guidelines that you can give us?
And see, what I'm really cautious about is giving any kind of generic overall guideline, because every situation is very different.
Right.
And it isn't always about age. I mean, a 70-year-old woman who has no intention of ever needing those funds, is planning for those funds to roll over and to be inherited by her heirs. Maybe she could be in all stocks. It wouldn't matter. Generally, we are asset allocators. We like the idea of managing risk and keeping risk at a lower level. So we will use a variety of different asset classes, and depending upon how aggressive it makes sense for a client to be, they'll be in more stocks.
It depends on their age, their lifestyle, and their earning power,
their overall needs. Do they have other sources of income? What is their capacity? I mean, it's sometimes it's funny. There are individuals that perhaps are financially very secure and could be in more aggressive stocks, but for whatever reason, psychologically or
anyway, shouldn't people be able to sleep at night?
Absolutely.
Right. So we don't have a lot of time left. Can I go on, or anyone go on to the Money Bus, make an appointment, and ask these kind of questions?
Yes.
Really?
And
there's no charge.
There is no charge. And the New York market is a very cynical market.
Right.
We had tremendous turnout in a lot of the Western country states and different areas. New York, there were people that came and they said, really, really, what do you want? Is this really for free?
Well,
it truly, truly is for free.
Right. Well, also you had people coming in that really had felt that they had been, their confidence, their trust level had been burst by this bubble, by what happened. So maybe they came into you last year a little more jaded. Yes. About being trustworthy.
Yes.
So, what are the dates again?
The 19th, 20th, and 21st.
And how can people find out where you're going to be located?
Go to yourmoneybus.com.
Yourmoneybus.com. Okay. Well, we're going to post that and you could find out where and make an appointment with the internet too.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Good. Okay. And who's funding this?
TD Ameritrade and Kiplinger are both assisting NAFA. NAFA doesn't have a lot of funds for it.
Right. The NAFA is a little low on funds themselves now.
Yes.
Right. Anyway, it's a really good service. And just think about being able to, and then if anyone wanted to, they could follow up with a private appointment.
Sure.
Right. And I think, is that also Financial Literacy Week in New York City?
It is. Mayor Bloomberg is announcing it as Financial Literacy Week.
Okay. All right. Folks, rather than sit there and bite your nails and wonder what to do, visit yourmoneybus.com and get yourself an appointment on the Money Bus. And if you're lucky, you're going to be on the bus.
I sure am.
If you're lucky, you'll get Laura Mattia. I'm Judith West. This is Getting Your Money's Worth. Thanks for watching.